Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to talk about the origin of the lab. In 1985, I had started training in Chinese martial arts, and in 2000, my instructor asked me if I would be interested in taking over his school. So in 2005, I opened my own business and have managed to stay pretty successful even through the 2008 economic downturn, another 8 years of a sluggish economy, and even over the last 2 years of the worldwide pandemic that was very detrimental to business. However, I did have a lot of extra time on my hands when everything was shut down, and that's when I discovered YouTube. Up until that point, I kind of figured YouTube was just sort of like videos for how to fix leaky faucets and music. It was one day I was watching something, and something popped up on screen, and here's some guy in a mask talking about Star Wars. And as a longtime Star Wars fan and being rather disappointed with the sequel trilogy, I tuned in and discovered this fellow named Doomcock, who led me to a whole bunch of other YouTubers in this sphere that talked about similar things and with similar concerns and similar viewpoints. I was listening to one show, and I heard these fellows talking about how much they loved action figures. And one of my skills was creating action figures. I started with doing them for my kids and then for some friends. And so I got this idea that I would create action figures for some of these content creators. And this is a work in progress here of one of the very first one that I did. This is the doomcock figure. Now this is in progress. I still haven't applied the rivets and done the detailed paint work and adding the mouthpiece to the helmet. But I thought you might be interested in checking out the video of Doomcock's reveal of his action figure. Now, I figured that these guys just kind of got stuff sent to them all the time. I didn't think anything of it. I just kind of like threw some stuff together. I had been planning this for a while, and I was really stumped at how I was going to make the look of the embroidery because I don't know how to embroider. I wasn't against the idea of learning how, but I figured it would be really, really time consuming. So then I got a Cricut machine and decided to do it with vinyl, which came out pretty good. Then I had to try and figure out what the little dots on Doomcock's outfit were. And at first I thought they were sort of like a rhinestone thing until I looked in videos and images and screen grabs and realized that they were little pieces of metal. So I found these little 3mm rivets on Amazon. So once they got delivered, which took quite a while, I started applying them. It took several attempts, and but I finally got it right and got it down pretty well. Even so, there are 125 rivets that go on each Doomcock action figure coat. It takes about 3.5 hours of tedious work setting each one of these by hand to get the completed tunic looking the way it should. I sculpted the helmet by hand. My son does 3D printing, and I was going to have him do the 3D model of the helmet and try and go from there, which we might do in the future. But I figured I'm going to just try and do this one by hand. Came out pretty well. It's a little hard to see with the resolution and the lighting. Once it's painted and the mouthpiece is put on, it becomes a lot more recognizable. So what I did, I made a box and packaged this all up with some goodies along with it, and I sent in a super chat one day and got his P.O. box and sent this thing off in the mail and didn't think anything else of it. Until one night, I went to the gym, which I usually do because Friday nights I usually work until about 8 o'clock. I got done work and finished my classes, and headed off to the gym. And that's when I heard Doomcock talk about the reveal of the Doomcock action figure. So I'm going to link this video in with this. I clip it in here if I can figure that out, because I'm not very good at this video stuff. And you can check out the real-time reveal of the Doomcock action figure. And I'll be back with some more commentary afterwards.
You guys are asking about the Doomcock action figure. I'm going to go ahead and I guess it's time to show it off here. Yeah, I think maybe it would be a good time to show it. You think? Yeah, why not? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share another screen here. I'm going to share. Let me see. Well, now where is it? What the hell? I'm trying to share it. Okay, here we go. And behold, the Doomcock action figure. Yes, my friends, this is the Doomcock action figure. I'm going to temporarily take down my overlay here so y'all can see this a little bit better. All right, so we have here all of the action figure and its accessories, folks. This is a like 10 or 12 inch. I haven't like measured it, but this is a full-sized action figure with a cloth accurate tunic, a great sculpted helmet. It comes with a reactor background. And you can see Sabu up there, and unfortunately, a victim here of sadly, it's a victim of it's unfortunate that there is a price to be paid for screwing up pop culture, as it turns out. Let's take some closer looks at this stuff. So there's a closer look at the sculpt on the helmet, the elaborate work on the tunic. I think it's just absolutely astonishing, folks. Absolutely astonishing. Now, it came in a custom box. Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. You can see it here. I'll try to expand it a little bit. It's wow. I mean, is this some amazing detail or what? And you can see Sabu sitting on top of the torture chamber there with the little bad robot there who's had better days. Here's a very good close-up of the detailing on this tunic. Tailored cloth, man. This is no joke. I can't even imagine how they did this. This is, when I opened this, I was flabbergasted. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I could not believe what I was seeing. And I'm hoping that maybe the sender is out there in the audience right now and will step up and take credit for it. Now, I had no note at all in this elaborate figure. All I had was a return address with an initial and a last name. So, I mean, since so many people go by different labels here on YouTube, on Twitter, and Patreon, Subscribestar, I just have no idea who sent me this, and I really need to. I'm going to send them, if I don't hear anything pretty quick, I'm going to just send them a follow-up, inquiry by mail and some gifts and stuff. Oh, no, look at that. No, isn't that sad? Aw. oh dear, oh dear. And he's singing, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my cultural vandalism. And here's a little closer. You can see on his little head, looks like he's been bitch slapped. Looks like he's been bitch slapped there. And holy smokes, I'm looking with great satisfaction. It's like his day has come to an end. And there's Sabu. Now you can't see his saber teeth in that because they are embedded, impaling in the nut, which is the reason why the saber teeth, evolved, not just for a display of ferocity and for fighting other males during, mating season, but also to puncture nuts, which is what he is doing here. And kind of a low angle shot of alas, the poor robot. And here I am feeding Sabu, feeding Sabu, and look at him dangling there. His feet dangle, by the way. His feet dangle, which is pretty funny. And there's a nice low angle shot showing the gloves. I've got gloves on, you can see, and it's just such a beautiful, incredible work of art that I just am beside myself. I don't know what to say. Here I am gesturing imperiously. It's just I was overwhelmed. I still am overwhelmed. I confess that when I shot these pictures earlier today, my hands shook. I was treating it like it was, I don't know, like a newborn babe, like it was precious, which it is. I mean, it's so precious to me. And it just means so much, that, going with my 250,000 subscriber celebration just last week, it's just kind of a wonderful symbol of how far I've come. How many people get an action figure like this, custom made of them, without any warning? I had no idea this was coming. I just didn't know. And there is another shot of me gesturing. And there's the back of the tunic, for those of you who are curious, and also a good shot of the side of the helmet, which is very accurate. Very accurate. Folks, I was so touched. I was so moved.
So that was the reveal of the Doomcock action figure. And like I said, I had no idea there was going to be that kind of response to it. So many people reached out and telling me how much they liked it, and more importantly, how they could get one, which led to a lot of other of these things being created. Doomcock sent me I sent in a super chat to let him know that the little robot actually lit up, and so he asked me if I was on Twitter, which I wasn't. So I had to set up an account, and he actually had me on the show, and I was there for about an hour and a half. We discussed the action figure and even hung around for the trivia contest where, so not only did I meet Doomcock, I also met Tom Connors and that Umbrella guy on the same show, which was pretty cool to me. But with the amount of people that were asking about this, I realized that there were many people that didn't know the hobby really existed, and to the extent that it does. So I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to share some of the knowledge that I've gained over the years of doing this, like ever since I started making action figures for my kids, and then some friends and family and so forth. But it's been a great ride so far. It's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of great people. Doomcock's been a great friend. He's had me on his show as a guest many times. I've gotten a lot of inspiration from him, and send him a bunch of other stuff that we'll cover in future videos, as well as videos on other creators that have been out there. But yeah, I've met so many great people, made so many friendships, and discovered a whole new world. So with the little bit of free time that I do have, because the running the school actually takes quite a bit of time, um, I try and throw some of these together when I have a few hours. Lately, I've gotten very little sleep. I'm usually averaging like 4 to 5 hours a night, but it's been a lot of fun, and to see the joy on people's faces when they open these things up, and you see the response from the fans in the chat. It really makes it worthwhile that you can contribute something to this, and that's really my point of doing all this, is to make people aware that just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you can't. With a little bit of digging around and a little bit of experimentation, you're going to find that you're capable of doing a lot more than you think. And things like this, like you can get into this hobby, which you don't necessarily have to spend a second mortgage on. You certainly can, because a lot of these figures are very, very expensive. But if you look at it in terms of being a collectible, that's it's an investment that you're going to do, basically like home decoration. Um, People will spend what they feel is an appropriate amount for something that they want to keep. It's important to remember that these things are not toys. The connections, they're a lot. The figures themselves, although they're not super fragile like they used to be in some of the companies made, like Medicom, they're not as durable as, say, a Hasbro or a Mattel figure. So you can't just chuck these across the room and expect them not to break. Also, like, you want to be careful having these around, because the hands and everything pop off, and they're small pieces that can be choking hazards. So you do want to keep your collectible figures up and out of the way, especially since you don't want them ruined. But that was the origin of the Laboratory of Mayhem and the Doomcock action figure. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked the video. The whole drill, like, comment, share, all that stuff that I really haven't figured out yet. But I'm looking forward to doing more videos on the various reveals of these action figures as I've sent them out. I believe I'm on 18 or 19 figures I've sent out so far. So, and we're just getting started. Hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.